right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is Suge Knight makes a new claim about Diddy. Guys, specifically if it's coming from Suge Knight, I expect to hear something regarding Tupac, Keefe D, something like that, because Diddy's name specifically was thrown around pretty heavily in that case, guys. But either way, let's go and check this out immediately.
First up, former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight is speaking out about the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. Those two have been foes since the early 90s.
Absolutely.
He spoke with News Nation's Chris Cuomo, saying that many notable names in the music industry, like Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, and more, were fully aware of his crimes, but none of them are speaking out. Suge told Cuomo
they don't want to be associated
that Diddy learned his behavior from heavy hitters like the late Andre Harrell, Russell Simmons, and Clive Davis. He also says the drug use, the assault of women, and other things that Diddy witnessed from others in the industry made him feel that he could get away with the same thing, allegedly. Yeah. You know, these are still charges at this point.
Right.
What do you make of Suge Knight speaking out on this, and should we listen and put any weight on what Suge has to say?
I mean, let me say this. Suge Knight has been around since the origin, since the beginning, you know, so I don't say everything's alleged right now, but I'm sure right now there's a lot of people who are saying fluff. Like, I know people talking about the Kim Porter book, they were saying that's fake. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. So I'm not going to say 100% he's wrong, but I would say, you know, there's a lot of truth to it. You know, and of course, we have their personal feelings from Diddy. So of course, people would add their 2 cents to make it, you know, more on their side versus on his side. But it's a crazy situation, and things are unfolding. There's a lot of evidence, tapes, documents. So it's like people are saying, look, music is about, yes. People are saying, oh my goodness, the baby. People are saying it's about to be
1,000 bottles of it.
Jesus, 1,000. Yeah. But people are saying this industry of our legends about to be pretty silent, because a lot of people is going down.
Oh yeah. Okay, here's the thing, really quickly, before we even continue on with this. Does Suge Knight specifically, like, being who he is, all right? Keep this in mind, he definitely did not like Bad Boy Records in the 90s. He also wasn't a super fan of Dr. Dre, specifically after he, you know, tried to run from him, right? And Jay-Z, I would also speculate that there's also some drama there. Again, Jay-Z, East Coast artist in the 90s, right? There could be that could be something that is kind of forcing him or making him actually say some of the things that he's saying here. And, but do I think they have weight? Bro, yes. I think everyone that was at that level, everyone from the 90s specifically, that is a billionaire now from hip hop, probably knew exactly what was going on. So be honest. I mean, you can keep naming names all you want, right? But just be fully aware that if you guys are billionaires now, you were very close to Diddy. But all right.
Well, you know, one thing I noticed, and I shared this with Steven, we were talking on air the other day, when we see other celebrities come under fire or have cases on a variety of things, normally you hear at least a couple of people come out and say, well, let's not judge them until, or come out in defense. This is the first time that I can recall where it's like radio silence.
Yeah, people are getting quiet.
Because there's a lot of heavy hitters, allegedly, that people are saying are involved. Like, people are stepping down from CEO positions. People are stepping down from, you know, higher positions who people are saying were allegedly on these lists and had these invitations to these parties.
And even if they didn't do it, maybe they were there.
Sometimes you're guilty by association, and some people just don't know what could be happening.
Bro, was that like his body double or something, bro? Maybe.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, I listened to the interview with Suge and Chris Cuomo on air, and I was listening to it, and I just thought to myself, I said, wait, Suge Knight is responding to all of this? In fact, the call cut off early because he's obviously
behind bars.
Behind bars. My thing is what do you gain from that, right? Because I don't think Suge Knight, in most cases, is a credible source. I think that he's been involved in a few different industry kind of parties and conversations, but he also has this beef, so we can't really latch ourselves to it. He did bring up Clive Davis, and saying that Diddy was influenced by a lot of people who also did this. I'm not sure if we can use him as a credible source. There was a moment in the interview where he said, well, if you're gay, that's okay. And I thought that was an interesting conversation, because they are obviously attaching him to his sexuality. They're now questioning these conversations. But I don't know if Diddy has, I don't know if he has any connection to Suge enough to make that conversation work.
I think.
Listen, hold on. Keep this in mind. When was the last time you heard of Suge Knight? Seriously, when was the last time you heard this man's name in the media? Go for it. It's been a while, right? So how How could he get his name back into the media? By saying anything. Again, there is a literal hatred between these two men. Okay? They hate each other. All right. But the reality is, again, if you were a billionaire from hip hop from the 90s, you know something. All right. Or you were involved in some matter. I'm sorry, bro. That's my opinion. But allegedly, since we have to say that these days.
I think also the larger question, which you're touching upon, is making sure that we're separating journalism from entertainment.
Exactly. Because we all know the new wave of journalism is not credible. It's a lot of he say, she say, Twitter retweets, what people think, making TikToks. People want to, people want to go viral so quickly, so they're finding headlines and not valid sources or valid information to just go viral.
And I do believe that this interview walked the line.
He didn't fact check any of it. Chris Cuomo didn't fact check any of that interview, which is tough because you now have people taking these claims and running with them, which is unfair.
We just got to see what happens in court, and we'll, of course, keep you updated on all of this. Let's move on now to the war of words being shared between Cardi B and her estranged husband, rapper Offset. The couple split.
No. That's not what we're talking about. That story's wild, I know, but we're not doing that. We're specifically talking about this. Now, here's the thing. Because of how much Suge Knight hated the East Coast. Now, keep this in mind, guys. I grew up on the East Coast in the 90s. All right. I can tell you my disdain for the West Coast. The first time I actually sat and listened to Tupac was like 2021. I just want you to know how deeply ingrained, right? Strongly detest California because you're from New York. I'm telling you, that's what it was. I still have a hard time even saying anything nice about California. Okay, just so you know. So now imagine if basically the founding fathers, let's say, of the East Coast West Coast battle, right? Strongly detested each other back then. You can only imagine that they still hate each other now. Okay. And again, Suge Knight hasn't been in the news recently. No one is talking about him like that. The only way, literally, for him to get any type of like eyes on him. Again, he's had eyes on him his entire adult life, bro. Right? He misses that. He misses that shine. And that's why I personally think that there could be some like inherent bias in whatever statement that he has to make. But some of the names that he did mention, it would not surprise me if we start hearing Jay-Z. It wouldn't surprise me if you start hearing like Dr. Dre, bro. It just wouldn't, right? Guys, do you remember? Have you seen videos, bro, from the early 90s hip hop, bro? Have you seen those music videos? Those videos were crazy. If you think that there was not all types of debauchery happening at these, rap parties, you are insane. You're blind. Okay? Then you're blind. Okay. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think Suge Knight's opinions are even valid here? Catch you guys later. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.